Good. Be alive. I believe. Seems like I can pop out the chat. I can quickly check if this volume's okay. You quickly do my social posts, and then I will start saying hello to people. And check that the volume's not way off for the Sea of Thieves soundtrack. It is inconsistently voluming, which makes it hard for me to sound test. Hey, Bellabean. Hey, Nug. Let me just check that I have everything set up on my end while we wait for info to drop in about half an hour. I know I'm a little early, but gives us a chance to hang out for a bit. Let me save my little notifications, make sure. Yeah, we can turn that up a little. No direct today then? No. According to Jeff Grubb, there was one planned for today, but... Oh, no, it's gotten louder. Let me turn the Sea of Thieves down a bit. So, yeah, according to Jeff Grubb, there was one plan for today, but the gist is it's a similar situation to that Nintendo Direct that got delayed in the UK when the Queen died. And Nintendo was gone, it would be in poor taste for us to do this Direct before Xbox later in the day has to go, hello, please don't panic, we're sorry, we're bringing our games to other platforms. And allegedly Nintendo's kicked it down the road to next week to give today to just be Xbox's chance to get their stuff done without competing with anyone else. And Jeff Grubb generally knows what he was on about, so yeah, it seems Nintendo Direct has been kicked a week so that Xbox can just have today to, you know, to breathe uncontested. The BT, thank you very much for the 35 months of sub. Does this whole thing mean we get Forza Horizon on Switch with Mario Karts? Who knows? That's what we're waiting to find out. It could mean that. We don't know. Oh yeah, Bellabean. This was the... So they delayed a Tears of the Kingdom... It was the trailer where they revealed the name of the second Switch Zelda game was going to be Tears of the Kingdom. But the Queen had just died, and they didn't want the name to seem like it was referring to the fact that England... The Queen had died, so it was about to become a kingdom, but it was in mourning because the Queen had died. They worried that Tears of the Kingdom would seem like Britain in mourning because the Queen is dead. So they didn't air that Nintendo Direct on the Nintendo UK YouTube channel. Like, it aired on all the other regional channels, but the UK Nintendo channel just didn't air it because they were worried it would be insensitive. And allegedly, like, that's the tone of why there's no Nintendo Direct today, is Nintendo is worried. Nintendo was worried if we do a Direct excitedly going, hey, we've got Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush, that might be in poor taste if Xbox has to later come out that evening and go, yeah, Nintendo has those games, and I know Nintendo fans are excited and Xbox fans are angry. Let us explain to you what's going on. It seems like they've gone, let's just let Xbox handle messaging. We could get Rare Replay. I would love to see Rare Replay on Switch. Honestly, Rare Replay on Switch would be, like, my biggest possible, like, thumbs up, tick, you did it moment. Nerg says, I can see games like Starfield or Pentiment going to other platforms, but Halo or Gears are probably going to stay exclusive. That's what we're waiting to find out. According to The Verge, the ones that are happening, like, that are releasing imminently are Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment. Sea of Thieves is allegedly coming at some point this year. Beyond that, we'll have to wait for today to find out. Viva Pinata on Switch would be great. Rare was mentioned, so I'm obligated to say it's a crime we haven't seen a Viva Pinata in forever. It is! It's a shame that Rare hasn't been allowed to do anything original in a long time. Like, Sea of Thieves, I'm glad Sea of Thieves is doing well for them. But, like, what did we have before Sea of Thieves? It was the Kinect sports games were Rare. And I don't remember, like, it might have been... Correct me if there's anything I'm missing here, but... Viva Pinata, Kinect Sports, Sea of Thieves. That's the entire trajectory. It's such a shame that, like, so many of the things I think of from Rare just haven't existed in a very long time. The biggest thing would be Steam ports, Linux gaming. I mean, aren't most Microsoft games already on Steam? Are they not? I hadn't really thought about this. Can you can get, like... Forza Horizon on Steam. I thought most of their games already were on Steam. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, Nuts and Bolts. Rare, I think... Did Rare do Nuts and Bolts? I think they did Nuts and Bolts. Was Nuts and... Yeah, I guess Nuts and Bolts would have been after Viva Pinata, wouldn't it? Yeah. Nuts and Bolts really... they also were involved in that thing... Wasn't there, like, a game-building program that was going to have Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day content in it? And everyone got excited thinking there was a new Conker, and then it was just Conker avatars for whatever the game-making tool was. While we're asking for stuff, I want to play Conker's Bad Fur Day on Switch. Yeah, I don't think any of the Rare stuff is on the N64 online service, is it? Like, I don't think... Did Banjo come to NSO? Part of me wants to say it did, but I don't think that's correct. I'm certain that Banjo-Tooie is not on NSO. GoldenEye's on NSO. Yeah, I know GoldenEye is, because there was a whole... Microsoft and Nintendo came to a whole agreement about, sure, you can have it on Nintendo Switch Online, but we get it in 4K, but you get the online multiplayer, and, like, each of them had features the other didn't to come to a bit of a compromise. Banjo is on NSO. Is Tooie on NSO? I don't think it is. And I'm certain Conker isn't. Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie came to NSO, Banjo-Tooie never did, Conker never did. Banjo belongs to Microsoft. It belongs to Microsoft, but it was part of an era where, like, right around when there was a period of like 6 months where we saw Super Lucky's Tale came to Switch, Ori and the Blind Forest and the Will of the Wisps came to Switch, Banjo came to Smash, Banjo came to NSO, and it was very clear, like, there were some things Xbox was willing to let Nintendo have, because they were like, yeah, we get that people think of it as your thing. iValentine says, is this a sign of all exclusivity going down the drain? I think it's a sign of everyone but Nintendo realizes that they're making games that are too expensive to make, and it's too risky for any of them to fail financially. And as a result, they need to spread that risk somehow, and the safest way to do it is to spread off of their own console box in some regard. Be it Xbox more aggressively moving to PC releases. We saw day and date Helldivers 2 on PC. Xbox, it's going to be... They're already on PC and already, like, making unsustainable returns and unsustainable risks, so it's potentially moving to PlayStation and Switch. Nintendo is the only ones making games on a low enough cost because they've deliberately, like, they're using power-hampered hardware so they don't need to make expensive games on it, meaning that they can afford to just be like, nah, we get enough sales off of our own hardware to be a walled garden. But it's an acknowledgement that, like, these big, huge, sprawling AAA cinematic games are just too much of a financial risk to pour that much money into. If you have one and it flops, you're fucked. And they're trying their best to mitigate that risk. And that is, I think, you know, I don't think we're going to see PlayStation games on Xbox anytime soon, but increasingly, if you want to make a big budget thing, you need to get it in enough places to mitigate not making the risk of not making your money back. Final Fantasy VII Remake on Switch and Xbox. I joined from YouTube. The title there isn't the same as here. What's the title on YouTube? Oh. Did the title not update on YouTube? Is the YouTube title about Nintendo Direct or something? Is it when I made the placeholder title for that earlier? Not sure whether that was gonna... Oh, yeah, I've got to work out how to change the YouTube title. Sorry about this. Don't know how that one happened. Because it wasn't clear if Nintendo was going to drop a Direct today, I prepped a title but if I had to stream suddenly. But then I updated my stream titles using Restreamio, and apparently it just didn't update the stream title on YouTube, so oopsie. Right, where do I even find the bit on my dashboard to retitle this? Live, and it's gonna be me live now. Give me 2 seconds while I fix this. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. The joys of streaming to multiple platforms at once is occasionally stuff like this happens and you just gotta roll with it. The YouTube one should be fixed now. Thank you very much for telling me that the YouTube one just had the wrong fucking title on it. Yeah, where are we? Comrade says, Nintendo just keeps plugging along with sound business model and ruthless commitment to the value of its products. 100%. Make hardware that is, like, a generation or so behind in terms of raw power, but is in the ballpark that people can sort of squeeze their games onto it if they try. Have a really good solid staple of exclusives, and just kind of live that walled garden life. And you know what? More power to them. They're making it work sustainably. Anarcho Kennedy, you're not late for the Xbox news. It's about 15 minutes off. We're just getting warmed up. I wonder when Nintendo's going to announce this next round of Nintendo Selects for all the titles they recently discontinued physical copies of. I reckon it'll be around when the Switch 2 gets announced. It's like, we've got new hardware, and all of the classics of this generation are discounted. Like, it'll be part of that kind of move, and they'll probably do it because backwards compatibility on Switch 2. Here's a bunch of Select titles. Even if you're excitedly ramping up to next gen, you can buy these classics of last gen and play them on your new system. Like, it'll be something in that realm, I imagine. Sorry, I'm catching up on the messages quickly. There we go. Yeah, never ever discount your first-party products. Nintendo never does until the end. Like, you know, Nintendo considers a generation done when they do the Nintendo Selects line. I don't know if they did this outside of Europe, but like on the Wii and the GameCube, they were like, yeah, we will do a discounted range in different box art to go, we're ready to move on from this gen. This is the shit we think you should probably have played. How much do you reckon Switch 2 will cost? Nintendo doesn't want to push the boat out on price, but some of the stuff we're hearing about component things, I'd be surprised if it's if I was going to put my money somewhere, it'd be £350, maybe a little higher. Like it's going to be less than the Steam Deck. I would put it in the £350 to £400 range. I think it's going to be more than the OG. Like it's going to be more than the OLED currently costs, less than the Steam Deck currently costs. It's going to sit in that realm most likely. I think Nintendo, like the rumors of an LCD screen rather than an OLED, to me signal that Nintendo knows the price is higher than they want it to be, and they're trying to keep a lid on that price. That's why we're getting an OLED, an LED rather than an LCD rather than an OLED screen. Nintendo doesn't want to let that price get into the realm of PS5, Xbox Series X. Like, I think ideally they want to be in a price range where people are comparing them to the Series X. If they can, the closer they can get to that sort of talking point, the happier I think they're going to be, given the supposed power range it's aiming for. OG Switch was like just shy of £300. So I feel like £70 more than the launch price of the OG Switch is like, yeah, that's a step up in price I think people will swallow. Conrad says, I think they'll need to hit a $300 price point to be as successful, but they might be able to do a drop on a revision. I think they were inevitably going to go a little higher, but I think they're going to be banking on people were dubious that the Switch was going to be good, and they spent $300 on it. People now know they loved the Switch. They can probably go $350, and people will go, yeah, I'm willing to risk the extra $50 because I did really love the last thing they did. I might be wrong. This is pure gut instinct. I think hitting 300 is where they want to be. 350, I think, is where they're going to land. Saint Nobody, if they do SKUs, it's not going to be about output resolution. Like, that's going to be consistent across every SKU. If we see SKUs, I think the big thing is going to be memory, and whether you get one of these that has like a decent amount of onboard memory or not. I think that's going to be your ultimate SKU factor. Keep costs down so people are more amicable to the upgrade rather than keeping to the current hardware. Of course, that's always been Nintendo's model. They want to be the cheapest of, like, the affordable way to go to next gen. Oh, Gumba Master Cyclonial's zero chance that happens today. Lady Frogie says, I think at this point we know Xbox games are likely going digital only by the end of the year. I don't know if by the end of the year, but here's the thing. Here's what I believe we'll see. This year, we will see a revised version of the Xbox Series X and Series S, both of which won't have a disc drive. I think we will see disc releases, at least of Xbox's first-party titles, even if you have to order them from Xbox. Until the end of this gen, I don't think they want to be seen abandoning the people who bought the disc-capable console mid-generation. I think they stick that out, at least for first-party. Next gen, I think we see probably a move to digital only from Xbox. I think Xbox will be hesitant to not release their first-party stuff on disc in a generation where they sold a console with a disc drive, but the shift away from offering you the ability to buy an Xbox with a disc drive, I definitely think is coming. How much built-in storage did they put in the OLED Switch? I think it was the same as the base model Switch. I think 32 gig. Is it that small? Is it I think it might be 32 gig built in. I don't know for sure because I have like a half a terabyte SD card in mine and haven't thought about that in a long time. Slapini Switch 2, I think hard drive size will be the big deciding factor on SKUs. I think there will probably be a couple of SKUs based on built-in memory. Dragon Nexus says, I love how we've got a Microsoft presentation coming up and all we're talking about is the Switch 2. Shows where our excitement is. Yeah, but the thing is there's been so many leaks about this Xbox conference. We largely know what materially to expect tonight. It's the messaging that we're waiting to see. Because what we expect to see is Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment probably like this week or within the next week coming out on Switch and PlayStation. Sea of Thieves by the end of the year. Some big picture talk about what is and isn't in the future going to be on the table and why Xbox thinks this is a good move. It's largely going to be how do they present this and whether it wins people over that we're waiting to see, not so much the actual announcements so much, which I guess is it's an odd one. It's an odd one for sure. If games go all digital, they're going to start taking games off people because they feel like it. I mean, that's obviously the concern. Today will be a big console war on X for sure. Or on I'm gonna call it fucking Twitter, because call your trans kid by her fucking name, and then maybe I'll call it X. They do a diskless console, they should at least have an external drive available for backwards compatibility. That I do think we might see. I think we might see, an external disk drive made available purely for playing, like, your 360 Xbox One early Series X and S discs for backwards compatibility. Xbox does like the idea of backwards compatibility being available, but yeah, I think the days of Xbox offering... Well, I mean, we're already kind of there with PlayStation, because now you can't buy a PS5 with, Can you buy one already with the disc drive built in? Because you buy them now and the disc drive is an external thing that's plugged in. It's no longer built into the physical shell anymore. Like, PlayStation's moving for it. They're heading for the PlayStation 5 Plus disc drive, not... The disc drive isn't part of it. Yeah, what the fuck is X? You can buy a Slim with a drive, but the Slim... what I'm saying is, the Slim isn't part of the... the disc drive isn't part of the Slim. It is, under the casing, it's plugged in with a cable. You bought a PS5 Slim and a disc drive. You bought them together and they were pre-plugged in. But it's not an inherently built-in part of the device anymore. It's an external thing you are also purchasing that we've pre-installed for you. They're starting to blur that line of, is the disc drive an inherent part of the console? The BT says, it does make buying Christmas/birthday presents suck. Kids won't have the joy of opening a present and seeing their copy of the latest video game. Honestly, yeah, I think that is the place. Like, it's one of the places that it sucks. It's fundamentally not a big deal, but that was a weirdly formative experience for me, is like opening a boxed video game as a kid as a present at a birthday or Christmas. And it's sad in a way to think that like weirdly formative part of growing up enjoying video games just isn't going to exist in the same way. And that is the way it is. Now, Nintendo, they're going to stick around with having physical cartridges for as long as they can, because they have a system that isn't always online, isn't always at home, and your portable system, they want you to be able to buy a game and play it without needing the internet. That's gonna stick around for a bit. It's the Michael Jordan playing ball for charity Christmas experience. I mean, yeah, they've been selling, like, boxes with codes in for ages. But again, that's not the same... It's not the same experience. It's... You know what I'm really sad no other company picked up on? And if disc-based... if PlayStation and Xbox are moving away from disc-based sales, we're never going to see anyone do this again. I wanted to see one of the other companies do the... Did any of you own a Wii U? Because the discs on that... The outside edge of the disc was rounded. It was fucking great. And if Xbox and PlayStation stop making discs for their consoles and never follow the Wii U's innovation of having a rounded edge on the disc, I will be sad. I will be sad if the Wii U is the only place that rounded edge discs ever exist. My nice little bit of tech that I want someone to bring back. The BT says, the NHS sent me pictures of my brain on a CD this week. I had to buy an external drive to view them. I mean, yeah, increasing numbers of people just don't have disk drives available. Sorry, there we go. I was looking earlier today at the Wii U and ways to inject some extra life into that system now that it's no longer being officially supported with online services by Nintendo. And doing so is surprisingly simple, it turns out. And I'm curious to see what the homebrew scene has done with the Wii U, because it's a fascinating bit of tech, and I would love to know what people have been cooking up as, like, weird new uses for that machine. Conrad says, everyone should buy an external USB DVD burner. You can get one for around $30 and they're worth every penny for backup alone. Oh, agreed. I think it is well worth still having. My current work PC has a DVD burner built into it. I know so few people who have that as a thing anymore, but I'm like, I made sure I had one of those in here. I wanted the option to do shit with discs. Ooh. Okay, we're about 5 minutes away. I doubt it's... I'm sort of expecting them to put it here as a premiere or something, so we can, like, click on it and see when it's coming, but I guess not. Honestly, the Wii U. I fucking love that thing. Conceptually, it's great. I'm amazed that no company has... Not as, like, the default, but, like, PlayStation. I'm surprised they didn't put a chip in, say, like, the, you know, the PS4 that let you basically do remote play to a PlayStation Vita, not via the Wi-Fi router, but directly Vita to PS5. They just have a direct connection. Basically do the Wii U gamepad thing of that kind of direct connection for video streaming, but with, as an option for, like, remote screen playing on a handheld you already own. Like, I'm surprised PlayStation never got on board with Wii U as a option for not monopolizing the TV without the middleman of your router tech. I'm surprised no one's picked that up. That Daria Morgan, thank you very much for the 19 months of sub. Yeah. The PC I'm using now is the first one I've ever had without a physical media drive in it. My case doesn't even have an access point on it, but I've still got one on the old PC that I use as a media server. You've not missed much. We're waiting for the thing to start. I accidentally titled this Nintendo Direct on the YouTube feed because I clicked the button that says update the title on all the places I'm about to stream in my streaming software, and it apparently updated on one but not the other. Because I had my stream title set ready for if a Nintendo Direct did drop today, I could just hit go. But again, according to Jeff Grubb, basically Nintendo didn't want to be seen going, yeah, we've got all these Xbox exclusives! Like hours before Xbox would have to do a somber, okay, I know you're upset that we gave someone else all our exclusives. And I'm like, yeah, I can see why you'd worry that would be, like, in poor taste marketing. 2 minutes to go, at most. We're pretty close now. Tara says, question, since you're streaming today, does Jane stream tomorrow? Yes, me and Jane... I wasn't going to stream this because this is Jane's streaming night and she's currently streaming through Slay the Princess. She offered to swap nights, so I won't be doing a Like a Dragon stream tomorrow night, but Jane will be streaming more Slay the Princess. We swapped nights because it feels like this is going to be the talk of the town for the next day or so anyway, so... I'll let Jane know you say hello. I'll let her know later. Okay, 1 minute to go. Now, how long is this going to be? Because these Xbox podcasts are, I think, usually an hour long, but the question is, are you going to really spend a whole hour on this, or are you going to, like... How long of a chat is this going to be? How meandering will it be? And how, hey, please don't panic, let's get to the point will it be? Honestly, it would rule if they just did 3 minutes. I want this to be short. If it's super short, you know what I might do? I might boot up. I found a game on Switch that is it's made to look and play like the CDI Zelda games, but made today, using like the cutscene art style and sound direction and shit. I might just play some of that on stream, because that's fucking wild. I've been really sincerely loving that. Let's go. 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's have a look. Not seeing it yet. If anyone like spots a link to this appearing anywhere, let me know and I'll click to it. Yeah, they said to see it on the Xbox YouTube. Okay, we got a link. Cool, give me 1 sec. Right, and let me turn off the Sea of Thieves music. Okay, it's about 20-ish minutes.
Hello and welcome to the official Xbox podcast. I'm your host, Tina Amini, and we have a very special episode today, as you can probably tell by the fact that I'm joined by Phil, Sarah, and Matt. Welcome.
Oh, there's no intro. They're just getting into it.
Some updates at Xbox. We want to talk about game exclusivity. We want to talk about Activision Blizzard now that they're part of our portfolio, how that might be an impact on Game Pass. And we want to talk about hardware, too, and how all of this fits into the strategy at Xbox. So where should we start, Phil?
Well, when we originally had planned for the show, starting back in December, I think we probably would have started with Activision Blizzard. Maybe talked a little bit about the exclusivity.
So I'm gonna like occasionally pause this to just talk about some stuff.
We've had some
yeah, so he says that this was being planned back in December. We talked about this on stream the other day. It's clear it's been planned since before December. Back in November, Tim Sweeney was talking very openly about like putting Xbox games on other hardware, and then Phil Spencer was like, no, we don't have any plans like that. This was like November. And he's like, oh, in December we started planning it. Nah, they had this shit planned earlier. Or at least they planned to announce this shit in December, because Tim Sweeney had already let the cat out of the bag. They were working on it.
That has come out. So let's just go and tackle the exclusivity question, because I know it's on the minds of a lot of people.
Good move to just jump to this early.
Input for us. So we made the decision that we're going to take 4 games to the other consoles.
Pentiment,
just 4 games.
Hi-Fi Rush, Sea of Thieves.
Kind of fundamental exclusive strategy.
Okay, so it's only 4 total.
We're making these decisions for some specific reasons. We make every decision
is Starfield the 4th?
Really with the long-term health
or is
of
it
Xbox and long-term health of Xbox.
Indiana Jones was the other rumored one.
Games performing, building the best platform for creators.
Exactly, Conrad. Who do they think they're kidding that they planned this in 2 months?
We're always looking to learn as a leadership team and to grow, and we think this is an interesting point.
I think it's really interesting that Phil, like, he's waffling, but he is suggesting, like, there's never going to be more, or, like, it's not more than 4. There's 4 games. This is not all of our games. Like, that's a very specific number to go, it's 4. It's 4 games.
Time for us to use what some of the other platforms have right now to help grow our franchises. So we're going to do that.
So these 4 titles, what are they? Can you say?
Hi-Fi Rush.
I'm not going to name those games. The teams that are building those games have announced plans that are not too far away.
Nintendo Direct next week.
As we know, game teams put a lot of energy into their announcements with the partners. So I don't want to take anything away.
Yeah, 100%. He's not going to talk about it here because there's a Nintendo Direct coming, and that's where it's going to be announced. Okay, so the way he says this, and I know I'm pausing, but I want to like I want to dig into this shit because I find it interesting. He talks about like these games are being brought across because he wants to they want to grow the fan base for those for those franchises. Hi-Fi Rush probably getting a sequel. Pentiment maybe getting a sequel. Sea of Thieves makes sense because it's a multiplayer game and they want to have more online multiplayer players so they can keep supporting that game long term. Like, I feel like that's the messaging they're angling for here is thing that's going to get a sequel and we want more people invested in the first one so that we can justify a sequel, or online multiplayer thing where we want more of an audience playing it online. Like, that feels like the pitch he's waffling around.
from those teams. So I won't be talking about the titles specifically, but I think when they come out, it'll make sense.
Can we say if either of those titles are Starfield or Indiana Jones?
They are not Starfield. Or Indiana
Oh,
Jones.
Well, what was the
that's really fucking interesting. Yeah, so the three that seem like really fucking certain are Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, and Pentiment are the three that have been like repeatedly said. No, is the other one Halo? Because that was the other rumor doing the rounds, was Halo to try and get multiplayer numbers up. Like, I feel like it's not going to be Halo, but I also feel like Halo would fit into the mold of
criteria and
this.
how the team was thinking about selecting those 4 titles?
Let me start a little bit outside.
It's so
of that,
weird
and
for
I'll
them
get
to-
the 4 specific games that we're talking about right now.
Can I just say, it's such a weird choice for them to do this whole 20-minute thing and not admit what the games are. Like, I feel like there needed to be some better solution than, we're not going to tell you what 4 games are coming. Like they're trying to mitigate the fear by saying it's just 4. But they're just leading to more room for people to speculate, oh, what's the 4th? Like, you're just leaving that speculation door open.
Because the
just have some kind of
decision driver for
joint
any
showcase.
decision that we make, anything we're going to talk about today, is the long-term health of Xbox. That we're running a growing platform that is reaching more players, that our games are having as much success as possible. And I do have a fundamental belief that over the next 5 or 10 years, exclusive games that are exclusive to one piece of hardware, are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the game industry. And that's not some great insight, because if you look at the last 10 years and what the biggest games are today...
Bellabean says this feels like it's addressed to shareholders, not the public. I mean, they described it as a business update. It's happening. The reason we're getting this to the public is the public found out about it without being meant to and started panicking about it and catastrophizing. I don't think they wanted to do a public-facing thing. I think they wanted to do a thing for business, and they're doing their best to be business people about it.
It's a natural place, whether it's one console and PC, multiple consoles, mobile console and PC. You see big games landing on multiple platforms. And we want to be a great platform for creators that are trying to realize that potential. But now back to the specifics of the question on these four specific titles. We looked at games that are over a year old, so
Yeah.
they've been on Xbox and PC for a while.
Hi-Fi Rush just about fits into that.
Community-driven games, new games that kind of...
A couple of them are community-driven games. Okay. Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush are allegedly coming in that Nintendo Direct. The Verge seem pretty sure about that. That means the other 2 community-driven games. Sea of Thieves. What else does Xbox have that's community-driven? What other multiplayer thing could they be trying to get numbers up on? Because it seems like there are 2. There's gonna be 2. There's gonna be 2 multiplayer titles they're trying to big up a bit.
First iterations of a franchise that have reached their full potential, I'd say, on Xbox and PC. There's always growth.
Could it be
Franchises that we
Grounded?
obviously want to continue to invest in. Part of having the ability to continue to invest is that the businesses behind those franchises continue. We think it's important that these service-based games that have communities behind them, that
Service-based games with
confidence
community
that they're gonna
behind
exist
them.
in the future. So 2 of them, kind of community-driven games that.
Okay,
will be
yeah,
up on other
explicitly saying
platforms.
two of them are community-driven. Yeah, we want it. The other one is something in the realm of Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves, they want to keep going. They want to keep it as a community thing. They want to pour more money into it. They need new people. Is there no PlayStation version of Minecraft yet? There's already Minecraft on Switch. I don't think Minecraft makes sense necessarily. Yeah. What we need it's an Xbox live servicey kind of game that's over a year old. And again, could be Redfall. Don't think so, but could be Redfall, could be Grounded.
The ability to continue to invest in them, we think that's great for the business and great for the community.
Yeah, it's ones that are getting sequels or ones they want more community in the online.
2 of the other games are smaller games that were never really meant to be built as kind of platform exclusives and all the fanfare that goes around that.
Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment,
But
I guess,
games that
makes
our
sense.
teams really wanted to go build, that we love supporting creative endeavors across our studios, regardless of size. And as they've realized their full potential on Xbox and PC, we see an opportunity to utilize the other platforms as a place to just drive more business value out of those games.
You know what? I
allowing
think
us
he's doing a
to
decent job
invest in
of
maybe future iterations
mitigating the
those,
panic that a
sequels
lot
to
of
those,
Xbox people
or
had
just
over
other
this.
games like that.
I
in the
don't think his
portfolio.
messaging here is terrible.
And
I
when we
think
don't
he's
damage Xbox.
he's
and we
plugging
can
the
grow our
holes.
business using what other platforms have and to help us with that. We're going to do that, and that's really the story behind.
But again,
these 4 games. And last,
I really think, like, presuming that it's, I feel like they're about to announce these during Nintendo Direct or whatever. I feel like this needed to, like, they needed to talk about what the 4 games are. I think that's the biggest weakness of this, is that they're dancing around what the specifics are. I think talking about in a vacuum the big picture ideas without saying any of them, because I feel like most people watching this, like, the people who got angry about the leaked stuff on this online aren't going to be satisfied by, there's 4 things, we're not going to tell you what they are. That's all they're going to hear out of this. I feel like there's going to be a segment of the Xbox audience who just hears 4 of our games are going somewhere else and we don't know which ones they are. And that's all they're going to take away from it.
thing I'll say, looking forward, I think there is an interesting story for us of introducing Xbox franchises to players on other platforms to get them more interested in Xbox. We think there's a good brand value.
Xbox has been doing that with Switch for a while.
Games, no promise beyond that. So if you're on those other platforms and you see these 4 games coming, please don't take it as some signal that everything's coming. It's not.
No promise beyond that doesn't make it sound like there will never be ones beyond that. It sounds like we've decided on 4, we might decide on more, but we don't want to say that there might be more than those 4 because we're trying to calm the panic of the Xbox people. Like, he's being very cagey about, like, no promises, there might be more than 4.
And we're going to learn.
So when you are thinking about the future and this concept of live service games, games that can benefit from bigger audiences, new audiences.
Yeah, it sounds like 4 are in active development.
Titles and how you're applying that criteria there.
Yeah, there's really no fundamental change to how we think about exclusivity. We just came out of Developer Direct, which was an awesome show, where we showed great games that are coming to Xbox and PC and cloud, which really makes them accessible to hundreds of millions of people. So it's this kind of, we're really focused on a couple platforms and what's going to show up there. But our key of play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, when everybody plays, we all win. These have been part of our strategy for years. And
now, I know I keep pausing, but, like, here's the thing that I think, if this is the message, if the answer is there's 4 games, 2 of them are small ones and 2 of them are community-driven ones, it's not a big shift in the, fundamental direction of the company, that could have been a solemn JPEG a week ago. And it really feels like it is a strange decision to have waited a week to say that much. Right? Doesn't this feel very, like, it feels like they didn't need to wait a week to message that amount.
Will continue to be. Our focus is on how do we continue to grow the games industry by reaching more players in more places, and how do we grow Xbox as part of that. Xbox is a hardware platform, Xbox is a publisher of great games, and Xbox as a platform for the world's best creators.
And then knowing that, how do we think about our first-party games and Game Pass?
Yeah, well, to build on what Phil just said, one thing I would add, as you were talking about growth, is just that we've sort of seen this inversion over the last 5 years where it used to be that the platform was the biggest thing.
That's right.
And the games would sort of tuck in within the platform. Today, big games like a Roblox or a Fortnite could actually be bigger than any one platform.
Yeah,
and that really has changed the way that we think about things. So in the midst of all that, I think we at First Party can come back.
Yeah, Grounded could be the 4th.
First, that all
is
of our
Grounded
games will be on the Xbox platform.
Is Grounded still getting regular updates? Like, has it been recently updated? Is it still a game that is actively getting supported? Because if so, I could see Grounded being the 4th.
Second, all of our games will go into Game Pass on day 1. And third, we know that Game Pass will only be available on Xbox. So there's sort of starting points for us. As Phil mentioned, there are games today that you can play that only can be found on Xbox.
To the points about Game Pass coming to, say, Switch 2, Xbox wants that to happen. Nintendo, I think, would be hesitant. because so few of the games that are going to be on Game Pass will have Switch 2 ports available. It would likely have to be cloud streaming to Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo would get on board with pay a subscription to one of our competitors to live stream in games that aren't even running on our system. I feel like that would be a sell that Nintendo would... I feel like that would be a hard sell. I think Xbox wants Game Pass to be an app on every system. I don't know if we're at the place where that happens yet.
And at the same time, we want to bring more of our games to more players. So we're going to continue to look at that. Kind of moving aside, though, from some of those.
Okay, Grounded had a
more about what
content
does it bring
update in
to the
early
player.
December.
To me, the two
Maybe it is
key
Grounded.
things are cross-play and cross-save. Those things allow us to deliver on the promise of Xbox, which is play with your friends where they are.
Do you
play on the
think
devices
he's
you want,
angling...
play the games
Yeah.
you want. So that is really only possible at a practical level when you know that your saves and your player are going to be able to move across all those parts.
It really sounds like he is implying that if you buy Sea of Thieves or Hi-Fi Rush or Pentiment or whatever on PlayStation or Nintendo, your save will carry over from your Xbox playthrough, like cross-saves and cross-play. But specifically the one that's interesting to me is cross-save. Cross-save between Xbox and, say, Nintendo. If that's what he's saying, would be interesting. It's... Yeah.
So not all of our games today are necessarily built to take advantage of that. There still will be some games that don't. As we bring more teams into the Xbox family,
Yeah,
there's some...
because he's talking about like Roblox and Fortnite, and those are examples of if you play them on one platform and play them on another, your save stuff carries over. So I guess that is what he's trying to imply.
up
Shared
to do as we get
servers?
there. But that cross-play, cross-save is like so fundamental to what we're doing, and I think is something that we as first party get such a good benefit from being so close to the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things, like you said, all of our games are always in Game Pass. And so I'm excited to announce, you know, with the coming together that we had with Activision Blizzard King, that Activision and Blizzard games are coming to Game Pass, starting with Diablo 4 on
Yeah,
March
this is them
28th, which
trying
I'm
to...
super excited to share
Yeah,
today.
this was always gonna be the way this was gonna go. Is we give you the news that some of your games are going to other places, but we try and chase that with we bought Activision Blizzard, their games are gonna be on Game Pass. Get excited.
And it's
like
all
this-
part of our commitment.
This was always gonna
Xbox,
be the
Xbox
chaser
experience and
of
the games
this.
that we build is widely available as possible. So now the 34 million Game Pass members can all enjoy the fantastic experience of Diablo 4.
Who hiss
Can we go back to
Activision
the
Blizzard
point,
King,
Phil, you mentioned
etc.
at the top, this isn't really a change in strategy for us. Can you recap for me how it isn't?
Yeah,
Because we've
and
brought
I
games to
thought
Switch before.
both
Ori
Matt
and the
and
Blind
Sarah did a
Forest,
really nice
Lucky,
job of
Super
talking
Lucky's
about what
Tale,
we're doing on Xbox,
Hellblade.
where we're
We brought those
going.
games to Switch already.
You know, if you take a platform feature like Xbox Play Anywhere, which has been a promise.
Because I think the way that Phil needs to be pitching this, I think the way is like, hey, in years past, we've had more than 4 of our games come to Nintendo Switch. We've got 5 games that have come to Nintendo Switch in the past. Ori 2, Super Lucky's Tale, Minecraft, and Hellblade. You didn't panic that we were going to duck out of the console business when those 5 games came. You know, you've heard a lot of things that have, you know, been pitched in a way that has made it sound like we're, you know, ducking out of exclusives entirely. This is a continuation of that. Occasionally a game will make sense to bring to other platforms, and there are games that we don't bring to other platforms, and, you know, those are case-by-case basis. Is the fact that you've heard about a few of these, not from us all at once, has made them sound scarier, but this is business as usual. We've done this for a while, and it's never bothered you before. Like, Cuphead as well, like, it's really not that hard of a sell to people.
That we've made on our first party games, that you can buy our game once, you're going to get play across Xbox and Windows. I think we're the only platform that does this. That makes it possible for you not only to play with your friends wherever they are, but to know that you actually have multiple entitlements to the games. I think that's a technology I would love to see applied to more platforms. But it is this view.
Yeah, this is
people
kind of
are
what
gonna
they've been
play
doing for a
Xbox
while.
in multiple places. Whether it's play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want, whether it's content, community, and cloud, whether it's when everybody plays, we all win. Like, we've had different taglines, different strategy kind of words that we've used, but always with this view that Xbox is a platform for creators who want to reach the most players. Our investments in xCloud, our investments in franchises like Minecraft and now Call of Duty and other large franchises.
This is a meeting that could have been an email, but it's a meeting that could have been an email that is being very specific to calm investors. Like, the reason this is longer than... The reason this isn't just the solemn JPEG on Twitter is because they're trying to do this in a way that calms down panicky investors.
So that we learn how to build those. This has been a strategy that we've been on for, I'd say, a decade. It's not about one device. It's not about games in service of a device, but rather the devices that people want to play on should be in service of making the games as big and popular as they possibly could be. Because really a healthy creator community on Xbox, a healthy creator community in gaming all up, is the thing that all of us as game players should be voting for.
Because this is ultimately, again, not that different.
Long-term success and growth in this industry.
This isn't that different from what we got out of PlayStation's quarterly earnings reports yesterday, of them more aggressively bringing more of their software like a year or so after release to PC. It's, hey, we need to make sure that our studios are sustainable, and sometimes that means sell the game in an extra place to recap some of the dev costs.
And my understanding, just from listening and learning from you three over the past few weeks, just understanding what's happening with Xbox, is that we see trends with player behavior where people are playing on multiple devices. That is the reality. And we have put some games out on multiple platforms before. So my understanding is that that's been good for players. How does that come back to the business with all of that in mind?
Yeah, as you said, we have shipped games on other platforms.
I'm going to look up Microsoft's first-party games
with the addition of Activision and Blizzard and ZeniMax. We're one of the largest game publishers on PlayStation.
Hey, Phil Spencer, you don't get to take credit for Activision Blizzard publishing multi-platform games on PlayStation. You don't get to go, oh, we're one of the biggest publishers on PlayStation. Look at all these games that before we bought these companies came to PlayStation. That's... Phil, that's fucking wild that you're trying to go, yes, we brought Overwatch and Call of Duty and World of Warcraft and StarCraft to PlayStation. We brought Dishonored and Wolfenstein and Fallout and Doom to PlayStation.
And we're one of the largest publishers on the Nintendo Switch, especially when you put Minecraft into the equation as well. And now we're one of the largest publishers on mobile platforms as well. And that's not something that we want to back away from. We want to continue to be building great games that millions and millions of people can love, and that they can play those games where they want to go play. But we do understand the business success that Xbox has to have. Dragon
Nexus, I'm sure Microsoft probably are tweeting at the moment. We'll maybe check that out afterwards. I know we're only like halfway through this. We've taken twice as long. Like it's been 22 minutes and we've watched 11 minutes of this. But I wanna take my time and chat about it rather than just sit here going
us as leaders in this business. The system today, the system that all companies that we play video games from, is a world of you got to be growing your business. Growth in our Xbox business is critical to the long-term health of Xbox. Many people know I've been on Xbox for over 20 years, and I want to
got to make that content transformative, comrade. Exactly.
For the next 20 years. That means
got to add something to this shit.
Community and healthy business. So when we look at opportunities to allow more people to play, more people engage, more people to buy, more people to subscribe, it's all about putting Xbox in the best position. And our hardware is a critical component of that. The absolute best experience somebody has on Xbox is hardware that your team builds. And that.
Oh, also, I feel like I should talk about this because it's going to be stupid not to. Phil Spencer keeps liking tweets about Xbox making a handheld console in the very near future. This past week, he's been on a spree of liking very specifically people tweeting about Xbox handhelds. He even made a joke about Xbox handhelds during an internal company meeting to Xbox staff a couple of days ago. It really seems like that might be the future of them and hardware. Essentially like a Xbox... a Steam Deck equivalent, but it's probably Windows and it's got a Game Pass front end. Wouldn't be surprised if that's on the table for them.
people play on. But that's not going to be everybody. We fully accepted that we're going to have Xbox players across all kinds of devices.
So I think a lot of people think about 2023 as this incredible year for gaming, and in a lot of ways it was. There was some really amazing releases that I think we all enjoyed. But what were the signals behind the scenes that maybe indicated how we wanted to look at the future of Xbox and how we kind of keep up with the industry?
Not enough people signed up for Game Pass. We wanted to be at 100 million by 2030, and we are not on track for that. That's what signaled it. That's the honest
such a
answer.
Good question. And I think
now, what are they going to say?
As people who care about the industry, which I assume is people who are watching this, it was an amazing year. Some great launches, some of the games that I think will stand the test of time and people will be talking about a decade from now. But it's an industry that didn't really grow. And what happens when an industry doesn't grow? You end up with some job eliminations, which we had. We had even our own hard decisions to make about building a sustainable business for ourselves.
Oh my God, is he about to go? We have to bring our games to PlayStation and Nintendo, otherwise we might have to lay more people off. Because we just don't have enough money after we spent all of the money on the planet on fucking Activision Blizzard. The industry didn't grow as a result of record profits. I mean, it grew for some companies. The Nintendo Switch is about to become the best-selling console of all time. It's already the best-selling console of all time in Japan. It's about to be that globally. You know, some people the industry is growing quite fast for. Xbox just isn't selling. Yeah, don't fucking call it hard decisions. You bought a multi-billion-dollar company and then wanted to reclaw some of that money back so you laid a shit ton of people off. Like, don't... It's not that the industry wasn't growing. You could have made sustainable choices and not bought Activision Blizzard King and had more, you know, positive in the ledger and not fired a bunch of people.
But in no way were we alone in that. When you think about a healthy industry, I want players who believe that they will find the best games on the platforms that they love. I want people who invest their careers in working here to feel like this is a place that they can be successful.
Laying off a shit ton of people after acquiring their company isn't a way to make people feel like they can have a sustainable career here. You know how many Activision Blizzard King employees had jobs and now don't have jobs because you acquired them and then you decided to do layoffs? That's not how you make the industry feel sustainable to work.
And that really is down to being part of an industry that is growing. If you listen to Lisa Su, the AMD CEO, she'll say that AMD-powered consoles are likely to decline in 2024. I think there's an amazing set of games coming in 2024, but if we don't get to growing as an industry, the industry will struggle. And today there's really two choices on how do you grow the industry. Do you say, I have a fixed number of players, the players that we have today, and do I find new ways to monetize those players to get more money from the players that I have? Or do you think about how do I expand the business I have?
It really sounds like he's saying, very thinly veiled, we have to do this, or we'd have to monetize the shit out of you Xbox fans. So what would you rather have? Us on PlayStation and Nintendo, or microtransactions to hell? And again, it's not like there's a lack of people who want to buy video games. We're coming up on, what is it? Like, we're coming up on over 100 million Nintendo Switches out there. Like, there's not a limited number of people buying game consoles. They're just not buying yours.
By finding new players and adding those to the base of players that already play. Our focus on Xbox for the last decade has really been on that latter point of how do we make sure Xbox is growing for our players, growing for our creators. So those
slightly fewer exclusives is how we build Xbox,
which will grow the Xbox business and put Xbox in a position to be very strong for years and decades to come.
Matt, earlier you were talking about these growing gaming communities, how they're incredibly large and comparable on such a different level when we think about console audiences. Like you mentioned Roblox, you mentioned Fortnite. So
yeah, that's the other thing. What if we just don't grow as an industry? Is that okay? We just stay this size of industry and you go, this is how many people are buying the video games we make. We should adjust the budgets of our video games so that we can afford to make them. And, like, we will make our money back, we'll make some profit when the number of people who play our games buy and play our games. Like, if you know how big your segment of the industry is and how much demand there is for the games you're making, make your games with that number in mind, and the audience that exists will buy them and you can make more. But that, obviously, that's not capitalism. Capitalism wants the exponential growth curve. So we can't just have a sustainable company that has the audience size it has and makes games budgeted toward that audience size. No, infinite numbers got to go up because capitalism's always like this.
We're obviously thinking about our responsibility, our hardware responsibility is supporting the growth of gaming communities. How has that actually shown up for the players? Are there other games we can speak to from our portfolio?
Well, as Phil mentioned, I mean, two of the biggest ones for us, Call of Duty and Minecraft, I mean, they are driven just from the bottom up by the communities of people that play those games, which is so great. I think about it, for the player community, it comes down to where are the friends, where are the people you play with, and then equally important is where have you built up your library of games, right? Where have you invested? Where's that library? I think those two things probably are some of the biggest influences on where people choose to play and what devices they choose to play.
Yeah.
When we think about
Yeah, no, he's right, but like the problem there is if someone's library is on PlayStation and like that's where they're invested, they're not going to buy an Xbox instead of a PlayStation next gen, even if they were probably not, even if they were enticed by, oh, I did quite enjoy those Xbox published games that came to PlayStation, I'll buy an Xbox instead next time. No, they're going to go, well, those games were nice, but keep bringing them to PlayStation, that's where all my friends and my back catalog is.
the other side, the developer side, just any game developer wants their game to find the biggest audience possible. That's just the nature of building a game. You want people to enjoy and participate in what you've made. And I think we're in a unique position to deliver on that just because we are the platform. We build hardware, we've got a first-party games group, and then we've got a system that ties that together, that brings together your friends, your progression, your achievements, all of that. And I think that's really what has contributed to the momentum behind some of these communities.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you look at, just step back and you look at the history of the industry, we've moved from a place where it used to be that someone built and launched a game to accelerate hardware to actually the things we do with our hardware and with our platform are all in service of making those games bigger. And we think about that across...
Maybe those games don't need to be bigger. Have you ever thought maybe you look at Starfield and go, yeah, a video game doesn't need to be bigger than that? Maybe that's big enough. Maybe we made a big enough one there. Yeah, Dragon Nexus says I want games to be better, not bigger. Yeah, maybe you just stick with one console gen for a while and go, games are big enough. We just make new ones like this.
The investments we make, the consoles we build, the investments we do with things like cross-play, cross-progression, the things that we're doing with cloud. How do we actually give more options to game creators so they can have the greatest success? I think one of the fun recent examples about this is actually Pal World. You know, Pal World was able to launch, they were a game.
So I need to stop and talk about this. I'm so excited that Pal World has come up in this, because this completely verifies to me. Inverse published a thing a couple of days ago reporting on an internal Xbox meeting, like how this was all pitched to internal Xbox staff. And the reason that I now believe 100% that Inverse article is real, other than, you know, their track record and whatnot, is that allegedly Xbox spent like half of this meeting that was meant to be about reassuring their staff that, like, you know, they weren't going out of the hardware business, blah, 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 don't panic. Like, half of that meeting was spent talking about Pal World and how much Xbox really likes Pal World and thinks Pal World is a perfect example of what they should be doing going forward in the industry. And watching this, I'm ready for a minute or two of Pal World talk, because apparently Xbox executives are really fucking fixated on Pal World, and Pal World is the harbinger of the industry to come for them.
Game preview, they launched in Game Pass, they also simultaneously launched in Steam. And through the combination of those things, you know, Pocket Pair was able to have this outsized success, and it was the largest third-party Game Pass launch.
And we would like an outsized
and that's
success.
all because we give creators options on how they can launch their games. We've got subscription, we've got retail, we've got free-to-play, we've got game preview, we have the consoles, we have our experience on PC, and they can access all of those things. And when we step back and we just look at the performance of our platform all up, we know it's working. We're at the highest level of users on console, the highest level of users on PC, the highest level of users on cloud ever. We have double-digit growth rate on PC and cloud, places where we're enabling creators to actually reach new players beyond the console ecosystem. And that's why we're leaning into it and doing more, because we see all those signals.
So we're talking about the role that hardware plays for creators, for the games and those communities. What about the role that hardware plays for us as a business, for Xbox?
When we look at our hardware, it really is, and Phil said this earlier, it's where you get like the most flagship seminal experience of Xbox.
Okay, first of all, I think this is smart. I think there's a point they should have been making earlier. I've been saying this for days. I think the way they need to pitch, like, what is the reason you get an Xbox if some of that stuff's going multi-platform is Xbox is the place where you can guarantee every Xbox game will show up there and it will play correctly for that platform. The games are designed for Xbox, that's what they're designed for. That is the place that you know you're going to get an Xbox game and it's going to play well. Conrad says, can I just say that everyone on this panel is so hip and young and cool? Look how cool, look at their cool jackets. How cool. Yeah. I think that's the thing. Even if more stuff was going third party, like, you know, you would message it as it's coming to Xbox first and you know it's going to work on Xbox. Xbox is the place that you come for reliability for these franchises.
And it also represents a developer target. Our developers can build the specs of our hardware, and we invest to make sure they know when they do that, that the games are going to run great on our hardware, but they're also going to be able to be accessed across any screen because of all the other investments we make. So we're giving them an easy way to access as many players as possible. And we actually have more creators right now building for Xbox than ever before. By nature, thousands of them.
Yeah, because you bought all of them. You bought the whole fucking industry.
There's some exciting stuff coming out in hardware that we're going to share this holiday. And we're also invested in the next generation roadmap.
Okay. Some stuff we're going to share this holiday. Presumably that's the mid-generation console refresh that we've been hearing about, the one that leaked in those FTC filings. The cylindrical Series X Slim that doesn't have a disk drive, the one-handed controller, the Sabile controller that has motion sensing in it. Originally the roadmap that was a little old that leaked through the FTC suggested that was going to get announced in like summerish of this year. It seems like that's pushed back a bit, but that's end of this year. We're probably going to hear about that. And again, the internal meeting they had that Inverse reported on suggested that they were gonna do this, that they were gonna say, hey, we're making next gen console plans. Although reportedly it seems like Xbox is probably going to be a little late to the party on next gen compared to PS6, because they were a bit late to the party on making a deal with like getting talking properly with the GPU manufacturer for their next gen system. So it seems like they might be a little late for launching their next hardware, but they're not out of the hardware business. Yeah, that's no surprise.
And what we're really focused on there is delivering the largest technical leap you will have ever seen in a hardware generation, which makes it
Liam X Folks, have a good rest of your day.
And the visions that they're building.
And then when we're talking about hardware too, there's these other considerations that are really important to our community, probably to each one of ourselves as well. When you talk about library, because I want to dig in on that a little bit more. You know, as we talk about cloud in the wider entertainment industry, there's conversations about streaming. How is that impacting how I own my content that I've invested in? So what can we say about our stance around game preservation?
Okay. I love that she's saying what's our stance on game preservation, because you know what she means. Are we gonna keep having discs available for games? Like, it's either that or will we commit to backwards compatibility next gen as, like, that might be the answer. We'll commit to our next gen console being backwards compatible with your current library of games, and that's the way they sidestep admitting that they're going away from discs.
Yeah, you know, one of the highlights for me of being in this position was getting to stand on stage when we announced back compat coming to...
Sorry, I just called it, didn't I? It's going to be digital backwards compatibility, and they're just not going to acknowledge discs. That's going to be it.
Like, it was fantastic. People were reading the teleprompter before I could read it. I was a slow reader, and just feeling the energy in the auditorium as we were saying that and online. You know, one of the cues I think us as being part of Microsoft take.
Okay, Echo, they're being slow, so I'm just going to tell you what you missed. There are 4 Xbox games coming to other platforms. 2 of them are, like, smaller games that they want more attention on, probably because they're getting sequels. Hi-Fi Rush and Pentiment. 2 of them are live service games, Sea of Thieves, and we're guessing maybe Grounded. They've waffled on a lot. They're gonna do next gen. They've said a lot of corporate bullshit we've been clowning on. That's what you missed.
Is looking at Windows and how Windows over decades has maintained software compatibility with things that are built on it. Like I can still go back and play some of the games that I love playing on Windows from decades ago, and it will still run. And we try to bring that same view to consoles. It's harder in console because the line between what the hardware is and what the game is in consoles is traditionally, it's tighter, which makes compatibility, you end up doing these generational compatibilities that we've built. But I will say compatibility, the ability to not only play the games, but my saves are still there with our cloud save systems.
Yeah.
To try.
Yeah,
to
they're not
keep
going to
these
acknowledge
services up
discs,
as long
are
as we
they?
can so that people can play.
They're talking about game preservation, but they're not going to acknowledge discs.
Is a tenet of what we are as Xbox. It's at our foundation. And when we look at future hardware generations and what we're going to support, making sure that we respect, which is the word I use, respect the investments that people have made in Xbox going forward is fundamental. And the fact that you get entitlements when you buy a game from us on both Windows and Xbox also means you have the ability to play that game across a multitude of devices.
Yeah, I'm calling it now. What he is wafflingly saying is there will be digital backwards compatibility of your Xbox games on next gen. You'll maybe be able to buy a USB disk drive to play your backwards compatible discs, but he's not committing to continuing to make disc-based Xbox games, which rumors have been saying, like, retailers aren't receiving discs from Xbox anymore. The rumors about their mid-cycle refresh aren't going to have a disc drive. Like, when people say, what are your commitments to preservation, it's, can I buy this on a disc that you can't take away from me, that you can't revoke my rights to play? And they've used the word preservation, but they've not said anything that tells me that they are actively making it so that my game library is going to be preserved in a way they can't take away. Like, they are not talking about preservation here. They are talking, they are trying to make it sound like they're doing preservation while still maintaining control to your ownership.
Which I think furthers the compatibility of the games that you own.
Can we go back to what Xbox stands for today? I think we've pretty much covered all of the elements, but if you could break it down for me.
Yeah, backwards, yeah, you're right. Backwards compatibility means nothing for game preservation. If you can take it so that, like, I can't boot up a digital copy of Spec Ops: The Line anymore because the music rights to a piece of music in it expired, you know, and I don't have the ability to play my disc version on your console, no preservation.
You know, when you play on Xbox, what we're saying is you're playing on a platform where you know the biggest games in the world are always going to be. You're playing on a platform where you get to access Game Pass. And all of the games from our incredible range of studios will always launch in Game Pass day one. And you're playing on a platform that's dedicated to you, like player.
That's a big fucking commitment to make. For anyone who doesn't know, Game Pass is not hitting its sale targets. Not enough people have signed up for Game Pass for it to be sustainable, and this is a big problem for Xbox at the moment that is kind of well known. Committing to forever every first-party game will come to Xbox, to Game Pass that is a brave commitment to make, knowing how the business side of Game Pass is not doing as well as they want it to be doing. Right. Oh, yeah, Saint Nobody makes a really good point in the Twitch chat, and I've seen this point made before. One of the big use cases for physical copies is foreign military bases that have no internet connection. Whenever someone wants to get rid of physical copies, I just want to scream, "Why do you hate the troops?" at them, because that would embarrass them more than the knowledge that they're creating late-stage capitalism hellscape. Right, exactly. But yes, they've said forever now, watch them have to walk this back in 5 years, embarrassingly.
First features.
Sorry, also, I need to say, your game's already... You're not bringing every one of your games day one to Game Pass. You're already not doing that. Forza Motorsport, that wasn't on Game Pass day one. It was available 5 days earlier for people who bought the Ultimate Edition. You're already bringing out games earlier than the Game Pass release if people pay up extra money. Like, You can't keep saying you're bringing your games day one to Game Pass. You're not.
Cross-play, cross-save, cross-progression, backwards compatibility, being able to play your games in your library anywhere you want because of the investments that we make in cloud gaming. And so you're playing somewhere where you're investing and you know you get to take the games forward with you and across all of the screens where you are. And I think most importantly, Xbox is a place where you know when you're investing in Xbox, you're investing somewhere that is dedicated to making games more successful and creators more successful so that they can invest more to bring even better experiences to you all of the time.
Yeah, just that investment in the studios is so, and we feel that as part of first party with the platform proximity. You know, it's kind of amazing now to look out across all the studios that we've got and just be reminded that we're now one of the biggest development organizations in the industry. What does that mean for players? It means that the biggest games are going to continue to come to Xbox. And this 2024, the year coming up, we've got more than 10 major releases coming up. Great stuff. Hellblade 2. We've got Diablo expansion. We've got Avowed, Ara, the Indiana Jones game. And there's more in development, which I think we're going to be able to share more about at our June showcase coming up pretty soon.
Well, I guess I should get ready.
Oh, look forward. We're doing E3.
Well, thank you all for showing up on the podcast today, and we'll see the rest of you this June.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tina.
Thank you.
Well, everyone, how do you feel reassured in your investment in Xbox, fellow gamers? I'll say this. I think they have addressed the thing they needed to, which is they've put out the fire, which was people going, should I have just bought a PlayStation? Is PlayStation going to get its own exclusives plus all of the Xbox exclusives? Those are the people who I understand. The people who are like, I can only afford one console, I bought an Xbox. Did I make the wrong decision? Have I been betrayed in that buying decision? Because PlayStation's going to have all the Xbox exclusives and all the PlayStation exclusives. I get less exclusives because I bought Xbox. I get that. I think they put that fire out. I don't think they needed to wait a week to do a 20-minute video. I think they could have put that fire out a week ago very easily. If it's illegal to lie to a federal officer, how do we get the FBI to deal with this? I feel very reassured in abandoning Xbox console, says Zalno. I mean, Bellabean, I can see with a thing like this why Xbox wanted to be the focus of, here's our vision for the future. And I think they wanted to be able to talk about this stuff without getting bogged down into the specific games. And that is a decision they made, and I suspect that is why, as Jeff Gruff was hinting at, Nintendo Direct got pushed back to next week, so that Xbox could do their little thing and, like, be about them, and not about what the specific games are, but about the big picture of it all, so that literally a week from now they can go, yeah, Hi-Fi Rush and Penitent. I don't think this was the perfect play from Microsoft. I think the way to do it would have been get out earlier this week and just say, there are 4 games, it's not a big shift in strategy, don't panic. We're still making consoles, we're still going to make next-gen hardware, don't worry, people have blown this out of proportion. And then a few days later, let Nintendo have their Direct, talk about what games are coming to Nintendo, let people be excited about games coming to Switch, and let that be the thing that sort of carries the conversation and makes the Xbox sad and sorry feel like it's old news. Like, don't... I think they've dragged this out longer than they needed to. Saint Nobody says, this really had a feeling like they had more ambitious plans, but they're now a lot less sure of because they weren't received as well as rumours. I honestly think that's true. I think that this is, we're going to say there's only a specific number and there's not more than that to get people to stop panicking. And if we do more than that, at that point, though, like, it won't be a big story anymore because this is just the new way of it. Like, I don't think that if these 4 do really well, I don't think they'll go, well, we can't bring any more. We said 4. I think they'll do more than 4. I think they're very much hedging their bets on well, these ones we sort of locked in and are definitely doing. So, like, we'll acknowledge those. We'll admit to those. the rest of them we'll deal with as and when we get to them. Rachology says their vision for the future is more work from fewer people and more money from more customers. Yeah. David North says, I hate that they talked about next gen, feels way too soon for me. I mean, PlayStation's already talking about being in the latter half of the PS5's life cycle. It seems like probably late 2027, so like 3.5 years from now, both Xbox and PlayStation will probably be pushing new hardware. Zalno says, honestly, considering how much shit the FTC is continuing to give them over the buyout, it would be in Microsoft's best interest to bring more games to Nintendo/Sony, if for no other reason than to get some regulatory bodies off their ass, or off their back. 100% agree. I think that's part of the reason why we're getting any of these at all, is to get the regulators off them. The way they talked about things like Minecraft felt so mercenary. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, so that's that. I could end the stream here, or do you all want to see a little bit of me playing a game that is designed to emulate the old CDI Zelda games? Should we do a little bit of that to make this stream a bit more worthwhile? Yeah, fuck it. Let's grab my Switch. Arzette, I believe it's called. Have I saved? That's fine. I'll set this up and we'll do a bit of Arzette. It's a fun, silly thing. I genuinely think it's great. I'm having a lot of fun with this stupid game. Let me get it hooked up. Let me move over to gameplay. Hello all, I'm back. Fear not, I have returned. CDI games, haha. I'm not going to do a lot of this, but we'll play a little bit of game.
The kingdom of Faramore knew peace for an age, a beautiful, bountiful land. It has been ruled by the royal Rockland family for generations. Such tranquility could not last. Opposed to this peace was the evil demon lord Dimer, who amassed an army of evil in an effort to conquer the land and plunge it into eternal darkness. Driven by greed and power, several defected to Dimer's cause, like Duke Nodelki, lord of the island nation of Amalog. Long battles ensued.
Oh, Gumba Master, don't worry, we'll get to the bad cutscenes in a second.
In a desperate measure,
this is the only cutscene like this, is the little illustrated intro.
upon Dimer's lair in the country of Ocarin. After clearing a path, the Princess Arzette and an unlikely hero, Dale, confronted the Demon King. As Dale distracted Dimer, Arzette, well-versed in both sword fighting and magic, imprisoned the Demon King in the Book of Ocarin, a magical prison.
Oh, Valentine, don't worry, some really bad voice acting will happen very
Upon
quick.
Dimer's capture, his dark army was vanquished.
Yes, you can make it seem like this is a sequel to the CDI games, with very little
Upon
tweaking of
each
names.
The jewel of Faramore shatters.
Yeah, they switched the names up, but this is basically the third game in the CDI trilogy.
Of the 5 jewel shards to be guarded
And I
at
very much
secret
like that.
locations in perpetuity.
You know what I love most? Nintendo's
After the
indie
war's
Twitter
end,
account
the
acknowledged this
traitorous
game.
Duke
and that
Nodelki was
amuses
sentenced
me.
to a lifetime of hard labor. Dale retired as a bard on the spoils of his adventure. Princess Arzette continued to train, swearing.
Okay, there was a third CDI Zelda game, but it wasn't in this style. It was the top-down Zelda's Adventure. We don't talk about Zelda's Adventure.
Over a decade.
Yes, this was made by the people apparently who were responsible for getting the old ones playable. Okay. I hope you're ready for this.
10 years of scrubbing floors. Finally,
Finding these jewel shards was no easy task, but now...
Yeah, it's a fan fiction with the serial numbers filed off.
I have returned! Nodoki, for freeing me, I offer you power.
Yes, Master. Thank you.
In exchange for thy soul.
Of course, Master.
Very good. Henceforth, you'll have the power to crush your foes in my name. Now.
All of these sound effects are gorgeously terrible. Genuinely, this game's really good. I like this game a lot.
Trusted servants, I am pleased.
This guy seems notably more evil than Duke Oncled.
Take each of these shards.
Each of the 4 triangles.
So that I may never be imprisoned again. My revenge will be unforgiving. The punishment will be eternal. This kingdom will be mine.
Your Majesty, our worst fears have come true. Dimer and his minions have returned.
That's impossible. What about the Jewel of Theramore?
Oh, our vigilance waned. The jewel shards are with the enemy.
Ah, easy peasy. We just gotta get the jewel back together and trap him in that old book, right?
If only. A dark fog.
Like, this is such a loving tribute. It doesn't feel malicious in any way. It doesn't feel forced. It just feels like something made with real love for what these were.
I'm afraid that due to complacency, they've been left unlit.
Yeah, they were aiming for homage and not mockery, according to interviews. Yeah.
Well, as you know, only a member of the royal family can rekindle the beacons.
I'm ready.
Well, I'm not.
Another issue. My scouts report sightings of dark tapestries that impede critical
I
paths.
love this stupid Link. Sorry, Dale.
My ancestors hid sacred candles throughout the kingdom that can burn these tapestries.
That settles it then. Another fun adventure for me to stay out of.
Where must I go?
Their Link analog is my favorite thing.
The kingdom that you may use, so long as the dark fog around them has been dispelled.
I'll be leaving then.
Good luck!
Get back before dinner!
Be safe, my daughter.
The Link analog is voiced by the CDI Link. I'd been told that, I hadn't fact-checked whether it was real, but someone told me that CDI Link is the Link in this, and that makes me really happy.
Press jump to leap. Jumping into action. Press attack to slash your sword. Hey, you have a smart sword. It interacts with
The guy who painted the map screen in the original games, they got the guy who painted the map screen in the original games to make a map for this. Yeah, I've been hearing people say that people from the CDI games worked on this, and I hadn't fact-checked it, so I didn't want to say it, but yeah, apparently people who worked on the original worked on this, and that's great.
Press item to use items. Try bombing some column. Moving up allows you to enter doors and climb ladders.
In a lot of these cases, if it's not the original person, they've done a very good job of catching the spirit.
Moving down. Moving while crouching lets you duck walk. This old trick
They
gets
called
used
it
to
the
take
duck
spaces.
walk. You can do a duck walk.
Your magic pouch holds your items. You can select items here, view your quest status, and set options. So much space, huh? Some paths are closed to you until you have the right tools. Keep that in mind while you explore. Remember to light sacred beacons. They'll open new areas, so be sure to find them. Teleportation scrolls allow you to exit to the world map quickly. Go ahead, take off.
They've also made a remake of the CDI controller to bundle with the physical deluxe and digital deluxe. Can I buy a physical version of this with a CDI controller that works with the Switch? Because if so, someone send me a link in chat. I would be very tempted to buy a CDI controller for the Switch to play this with. You can. If that controller works with Switch. I have no need for it, but I sincerely love this stupid thing, and I kind of want to invest in that.
Well, what are you waiting for?
If someone can drop a link in chat, I will give it a... Oh yeah, we got a link there. Retro-inspired Switch and PC controller, you're right. It's 35 quid, that's really not that bad. I could get a bright pink CDI controller for the Switch. It's not gonna ship until November, but fuck it. That's the exact kind of stupid thing that I'm really tempted to pick up. Do Nintendo not own the old games? They own them, but they don't want to acknowledge them because they're shit. They refuse to acknowledge them, and parody is hard to police. They tested it with Smash Brothers and it works. Fuck yeah. So, this is what you all came for, which is seeing me sword slash an NPC to see the ridiculous fucking animation for them. So here you go.
You struck luck, my friend. These wares aren't elsewhere. My goods will improve your fortunes, so long as you improve mine.
Way too much movement, overly rotoscoped. This is what we're here for.
If you ever need something special done with that little sword of yours, just drop by and I'll give it a shellacking.
Now, my favorite little detail here is that when you sword slash them, there's like a second or so of delay that was the CDI trying to load the correct FMV to play. That feel is exactly where it should be.
Isn't the world just so bleak?
I wouldn't say that.
It is! Oh, I resolve to see all colors, not just what these puny eyes can show me. I will alchemize these shrimp goggles. You'll see. Or, rather, I'll see.
I love this man. He wants to make goggles that will let him see colors only shrimp can see. I want to help the NPC make goggles so he can see colors only shrimp can see. Right? Isn't this instantly weirdly endearing? I want to help him see colors only shrimp can see.
I say, what a lovely day in the kingdom.
Yeah, fighting Dimer is great. Haven't you noticed his return?
Oh, that dreadful villain. Heavens to Betsy, I just want to get back to the ballroom.
It's not a shrimple task.
I declare this the safest place in the land. Rabble-rousers and mischief-makers have no quarter with me.
The Crown is ever grateful for your service. Anything to report?
Rumors speak of strange scrolls that allow you to teleport to special areas.
Special areas?
Places that test your mettle and reward you with riches. Oh, if I could teleport, I'd find these scrolls and... Halt, ne'er-do-weller!
Now, I think there's a couple of voice actors who are decent in this. Whose recordings are decent. But what I will say is I think they have the right kind of inconsistency. You stab an NPC, you don't know if they're gonna sound like they were recorded on a potato mic or not.
Oh, Your Grace. At ease, Univore. Did I surprise you?
The good kind of surprise. Not like running out of supplies. You don't want to be caught without a bomb in a hard place.
I'll remember that. Keep up the good work.
Yes, Princess.
It's...
Surely...
Nothing stays consistently on model, and that's the way it needs to be. We'll head out to an actual area and show you some gameplay in a second, some of the actual platforming and combat.
Hey, want one on the house, Princess?
No, thank you. Say, that's a smith's anvil behind you, isn't it?
Ah, yes. I was a great blacksmith in a past life. I dreamed of forging the ultimate weapon, but alas, those days are gone.
Please, go on.
Well, this dream weapon needs refined chains and sacred oil. Problem is, they're impossible to get. The oil's kept by some unbeatable wizard in a dungeon, and I have no idea about the chains. I'd go investigate it myself, but I am but a mere small, timid man. A great big, muscular warrior is what we need.
Well, I'll get the
If
oil
only
and
there
the
was an
chains taken.
18-foot tall moose here to do it.
I couldn't ask.
Yes, but you're not asking. I will do this. Anything else?
Oh, here's the key to the dungeon with the oil. Good luck with that. My only tip is to help folks in need. That'll probably steer you on the right path.
These two NPCs are two of my favorite ones in this starting town.
You got an eye for beauty, don't you?
I love these two.
I suppose.
I lost my husband in the war. He was turned into a creature, got bombed. Boom! Shook the whole room, I tell you. He never gave me the jewelry I wanted. Bring me something starry, will ya? In return, I have something to quench your thirst.
She looks so awkward to be in this CDI Zelda game. She's like, what the fuck are you offering me, miss? No thank you. This is the best.
Hey, look everyone! It's the princess!
Pretty sure they can see me.
Yeah, but you always gotta be mindful of what's around you. If you see anything nasty coming your way, you gotta knock it away with your weapon.
Now there's one more NPC we can go find. Because I know where there's a bombable wall. So we can go meet this friend.
Howdy there, stranger. I take it you're on a quest.
Right.
I love the echo on this.
Oh, no worries about that. I could use a little sunshine in here anyway. If you dig further down, maybe I can finally get some plumbing in here too. You know, an adventurer has got to explore all curiosities.
Curiosities?
Yeah, cracked walls, strange spaces. Investigate them. Of course, you don't seem to be afraid of throwing those bombs. I once even heard of a hero finding a cooked turkey leg in a wall. Oh, seasoned to perfection, the legend says. Yeah, you might even find a few coins hidden away by portly old fools. Keep your eyes peeled, you hear?
Thanks. I'll do my best.
That's the spirit.
So, let's go try and do a level of this. Let's go try and actually go do some encounters. Because these play very similarly to the old CDI ones. I say they play very similarly, ... A little less infuriating, but still a little infuriating, but only in so much as to capture some of the feel of what was janky originally. So, if you get hit too many times, you gotta go back to the start of the stage. Some of these attack patterns are a little brutal, but you can play on an easier difficulty, thankfully, which is very appreciated. And there is minimal checkpointing now, which was never really a thing in the actual CDI ones. But yeah, I practiced this level. I can do this just about. So yeah, if we die now, we'll go back to the start of this room, which is manageable. Ah. It'll say try again, we'll start back from the beginning of the room. Yeah, you don't have to use the sword to pick up the rubies. You can pick up the rubies just by walking over them. I know, little conveniences. Little things to make it slightly less CDI frustrating. And it's a little clearer what is background and what isn't, which was honestly the biggest problem with the original CDI ones, was telling what you could or couldn't stand on. When's your GDQ speedrun, Laura? Honestly, I could get into speedrunning this. I kind of like the thought of getting weirdly good at this knockoff of a CDI game. But close all the doors. Then we get a bunch of rubies for doing the minigame. Yeah, they worked a bit of Hotel Mario into it, right? They made a little Hotel Mario minigame. Right, these are people who love what they're engaging with, clearly. Oh, I love this man.
Oh, great. They finally sent someone to kill me. All right, make it snappy. I'm sure you got places to go, other people to kill.
No! Who would do that?
Oh, my name is Cypress. I want to move into town, but the mayor thinks I'm a monster man.
I don't think that.
I want to help him.
Really? You don't think I'm a disgusting, rabid nut? You think you could convince the mayor to let me move in then, and stop thinking I'm the wolf among us?
Honestly, being able to tell the backgrounds and the platforms apart is the biggest difference between this and the originals. So yeah, we got a quest. We've got an actual quest log as well, which is really appreciated. Alright, I want to help Cypress move into town. Okay, there's a checkpoint at the top of here. Yes, they also added a quit to map option, so you don't have to backtrack through a screen to get out, which I really appreciate. Let's get to the checkpoint. I don't think we can progress currently. I'll have a look. I think there's we need one of the lanterns to progress, and we don't have any of them yet. But I'll try. We need to burn a tapestry, I think. Ooh. We can bomb this, but I don't think we can do anything past the bomb spot yet, because I think we need the color wand. We do. We need the color wand to go in there. The CDI, I think, technically came to the UK, but no one fucking owned a CDI. So for anyone who doesn't know anything about the CDI, this was... Philips were trying to make a games console. At one point, Nintendo were going to use Philips to make a CD add-on for the N64. They backed out of the deal, and Philips, like, contractually basically got the rights to make a couple of things based on Nintendo properties, for Nintendo backing out. And Philips made a terrible, unplayable console. It's bad. Come on. I want to try and get to that end point, even though I don't think I actually can progress this yet. And then we'll go ask the mayor about letting Cypress into town. Yeah, I think this is... Okay, we can do the beacon here, actually, yeah. It was based on a multimedia hype of the era. They extended the CD-ROM format specs for it, yes. Oh, yes, and it will teleport us back.
It's our Zed!
Ho ho! You've already lit a beacon!
I doubt the rest will be that easy. Any new info?
Indeed. My scouts have reported blockades enchanted with color.
Yeah, the CDI was 1991. It shares a birth year with me.
You'll need a tool that can fire magic of the same color.
Great. Something else I have to find.
Careful, Arzy. don't get red in the face.
Ugh, tell me there's only one color to deal with.
To my knowledge, there are 3 types of color magic.
Don't look so
Oh yeah.
blue.
So this one specific cutscene feels like it is like painted over CG models. It has a weird, and here's the thing, it probably like this one cutscene feels different to any other cutscene in a weird way that's hard to put a finger on, and then this feeling just goes away with every other cutscene. And I think that's perfect. I like that this has artifacts of an entirely other kind of animation that doesn't feel at place, and you're like, the fuck is this? Is this one all moving 3D models in a way the other ones don't feel like they are? And then we just go back to whatever the other style was. There's weird shit. And I like that this weird shit is exclusive to a single cutscene and then it just goes away.
I'm going back now.
Because, like, look at the next cutscene we see. It's not gonna do that. Let me find the mayor.
Mayor, please grant Cypress Town citizens...
Because, yeah, we're back to everything looking very flat. It's just they did different lighting and different animation style on one cutscene.
You know, my smart sword doesn't hurt friendly folks. You're not being very friendly.
Citizenship to Mr. Cypress granted. Ahoy hoy!
Yay! Let's go give Cypress his citizenship papers. We want Cypress to be a citizen. Now we are gonna have to replay that level, because, you know, this is based on the CDI Zelda games, and those had a lot of redoing content constantly, but it's slightly less frustrating content. It's not quite so bullshit, kill you for no reason, as the CDI ones were. I say as I die failing to make the recap. Like, I'm willing to put up with a little bit of trying to be authentic jank when they've filed off some of the worst of the edges, and now you're gonna watch me fail this level like 4 times after being like, oh, it's not that bad to replay. You gotta respect it. You gotta go, this game is gonna fuck me over if I don't respect the damage it's doing. I could just play this on easy and then it would, like, there would be health pickups I could just pick up, but... Yes, I don't need to suffer unskippable death cutscenes and long loading times, exactly. Yeah, that being a checkpoint, that there being a checkpoint is the kind of thing where I'm like, oh, thank God. And I think, if I remember right, the original CDI ones, you lost rubies upon needing to restart, which made it really hard to buy the items you needed to buy. Whereas here, there's no punishment for fainting, which is so nice. Okay, let's. Come on, we'll get there. We'll get this wolf back to being a citizen of town. You just got to sort of pattern memorize the room and know where your points are, where people are gonna attack. There we go. Come on.
I'm looking at the newest citizen of Fairmore Town.
Really? I can't believe it! Thanks! Oh, right! Have a lantern.
Boing.
See you around, kiddo!
Slide whistle! Okay, we have lantern oil now. Oh, is that... Oh, can't get up there yet. Is there an exit to the right in here? I'm just realizing... Yeah, is this a... No, that's not an exit. Okay, so we're gonna... Exit to map. Yeah, I think we need to go to the caves and try and find our first, here, it might be, no. I think it's the case we can't, we'll try. We'll see. Oh, I love this man. I love this man.
A cave system's nearby. Throw a bomb and you'll be spelunking in no time. Hey.
I'll take a look.
Is this
Not
Aaron?
so
Is this
fast.
Aaron
If you
Hansen?
run out of light, you might not make it back. Take this. If you use rope in dark places, you'll escape back to safety.
I appreciate it.
Hey.
Maybe not. There's some voice actor. Like, I would believe it if you told me that that's who that was. I've heard him do voices like that. So can I get anything in here right now? I genuinely don't know if I can get anything in here right now. Oh, Vectron, I should update the stream info, but will I? Yeah, we'll see. I'm not gonna do much more of this anyway. This is me just fucking around. Can I go down here? Yes, they kept the falling pebbles. I don't even know if I can get anything in here right now. I think I need some of the color magic. Yeah, I can't go that way. Yeah, I might just have to exit out. I think if I go to the next area, I can do something. IMDb doesn't say so. That's fair. Full playthrough of this after I finish Yakuza. My understanding is this isn't a terribly long game, so I'm probably not going to stream more of it after this session today. What I'm going to do is suggest, hey, if this seems appealing to you, just pick it up. It's a weirdly loving homage to a very niche thing, and it's a thing I want to see more of. I want to see more people have more excuses to make nostalgia for weird consoles that were never very good. The original Zelda voice narrated the intro, yes. I gotta kill this chicken thing. Because otherwise it's just gonna come get me. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I might go far enough to get the first shard of the crystal, and then probably leave it there. Oh fuck, yeah, find the exit. I think I might have already wasted a little too much time. I don't know if I'm gonna get the exit in time. Oh! Oh, there's an exit there as well, I guess. Well. Yes, I think this is where I can get an early scroll. And it's just an exit. It's somewhere around here. Oh, it's here. There's a slightly hidden early scroll here. I'm gonna need a... Oh, am I out of bombs? Don't tell me I'm out of bombs. Oh, I do have bombs. And then we're gonna hop in here. No, that's a key. Somewhere around here. Oh. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find that hidden scroll. Oops. Okay, this is one of the first places in this that I had the real CDI Zelda experience of what is background and what is not. Still background, still climbable. you can go way further along this than it feels like you should be able to, and you can land here. This jump took me a while.
Thank you for releasing me, dear. Allow me to heal you.
All right.
As a reward, how about some fairy dust?
No, thanks.
Oh, I insist. Enjoy!
Don't accept her fairy dust! You should not trust fairy dust from someone who's acting like that. How do I get down here? Yeah, not clear what's stand-onable or not there either. Is it not here that I can get that one burnable barrier? That one lantern? Maybe. I want to get the first lantern if I can. The music is legitimately kind of good in this. There's some tracks I really like in this soundtrack. Like, they're using the right sort of sound library to sound authentic, but some good catchy tunes. Come on. Come on. Come on, Laura. You can do this. Come on, one more go. One more go. Get good, Laura. This is important. Pressing the wrong fucking button. I was pressing duck walk. I was pressing jump while in duck walk. There it is, there's the checkpoint. Oh, that's what that is. I always destroy it before it does anything. Ah. Ooh, I think I know where I can get lantern oil. I think if we come down. Yeah, that might be lantern oil. Not here. No, it's further back, the place I'm thinking of. How much do I want to backtrack to get lantern oil? I think here, maybe. No. Okay, time to try and do that cave with no lantern oil. You want it? It's yours, my friend, as long as you have enough rubies. I have enough rubies, I'm just not at the fucking shop. That's the problem. Fuck. Aha! We're out. I still don't remember where that first lantern is. Yeah, let's take the zip line down. You can at least start dealing with color magic this way. This might be where I stop the playthrough. We'll see. We'll meet this NPC who we've already completed her quest, even though she hasn't sent us on a quest yet. We need the fucking key. This woman terrifies me, this woman we're about to meet. She is fearsome. That's where the goddamn key was. I love how they could have had her go in a straight line, but they were ambitious and went for a camera angle change midway, very CDI. Exactly! They know the thing they're homaging. They know the space. Here she is. God damn. Oh, didn't realize she could come up here. Oh, I need to remember to come up here. I need to remember to come back here.
I found some fairy dust.
Oh, terrific. Thank you, dear Royal. Let's see. I call it le intelligent gun. It will shoot couleur magique. Like your sword, it only hurts unfriendly creatures. Here, you can have it, mon princess.
Wow, thanks.
Oh, almost forgot. The gun's powered by souls. Anytime you slay an enemy, look for its feu de lame. It's soul fire.
She's so blasé.
To start with.
Thanks.
Oh, just look for its soul.
My next invention.
It is a soul gun. Fill it with souls. Le flamme magique. Anyway. She's way too blasé about the soul gun. Don't ask where she got the souls from. Is that supposed to be a Cajun or French accent? French Canadian? I don't know which it's meant to be. I don't think she knows which it's meant to be.
May I?
Of course.
It's beautiful.
A vast universe, but our world is a speck.
Puts it all into perspective, huh?
Your interest has made my day. As a gift, take some cosmic jewelry, courtesy of the stars.
Oh, and then I can give that to the woman back in town who wanted stars because her husband died or whatever. Okay, well maybe we go give them to that woman. Maybe we go give her some star earrings. Oh, no.
I say.
Because I need to know what she's going to give me to quench my thirst. I need to know.
Perfect! Ooh! As promised, a hero gave me this canteen. Drink from it, and it'll renew your spirits. Ta-ta!
Health refills, I guess. Cool. So yeah, this is called, what is it called? Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore. If you've enjoyed what you've seen of this tonight, go pick it up. It's a weird, niche little silly thing. I kind of fucking love this. And considering so much of the appeal of it is stumbling upon these weird cutscenes for yourself and being weirdly, charmingly baffled by them. Like, this is one of those occasions where I'm kind of like, I want to give people a taste and go pick it up. It's like £8, I think. It's pretty cheap. It's on lots of platforms, not just Switch. I know it's on PC as well. I know it works on Steam Deck. Go pick up this weird little game, because I want this to get supported. But yeah, I hope people have enjoyed. I'm not going to be doing a stream tomorrow night. I know I usually stream on Fridays, but my lovely wife Jane is going to be streaming tomorrow night, because me and Jane have swapped streaming nights so I can stream the Xbox thing. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to just go have a rest. I think I've earned that. Have a good evening, everyone. Yeah, you can get, if you're rich, you get a physical version for like 35 on limited run. I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably going to support this on limited run. This is one of those things I want in my weird collection of games I own. Go watch me get one of those CDI controllers. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Goodbye.